Welcome to Power Conversations podcast by What's Your Superpower TV. This podcast features conversations of overcoming by faith and pushing through to fulfill a purpose-driven life. This podcast is hosted by CEO and best-selling author Nadia Francois. Welcome to the broadcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Power Conversations podcast summer book tour. This is our Juneteenth edition. Y'all, Power Conversations is a division of What's Your Superpower Digital Media, a kingdom empowerment brand that offers visibility opportunities to entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, and community leaders. Learn more at www.whatsuperpower.com. Today we have joining us an amazing author, Dr. Michele Wells. And Dr. Wells is the founder and CEO of Courageous Voice Academy, home of her signature program, Bold Voice. Bold Voice assists professional women who feel unfulfilled or stuck in their current life or career to rediscover, realign, and reset to move from where they are to where they want to be. Dr. Michele is the author of her devotional journal, My Ramblings in the Silence, and is currently writing her newest book, Bold Voice, which teaches women how to communicate in courageous ways by overcoming the limiting mindsets that confine them and empowering them to take the lead in their life. Welcome, Dr. Michele. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You are very welcome. Now, listen, I want to talk about how you became an author. How did you begin your writing journey?
Actually, I was involved in a prayer retreat. And in this prayer retreat, we were talking about centering prayer and being silent. And so I began kind of this journey of really trying to focus on just sitting in the silence and listening to the Lord and just really trying to hear Him. And so as I did that, I started just writing down briefly what, I would gain as I did this practice of sitting in the silence. And so I just began to write that down and I ended up with 21 days. And I was like, I would love for people to be able to really engage in this practice in a way that's going to draw them closer in their relationship. And so it really came out of that. I don't know that it was intentional. I just believe it was a God thing. And so when I did the 21-day devotional, it's really a journal as well. So the devotionals are very brief, but then there's the opportunity for the person to write down what they've experienced in the silence in their silent time, and then also just some questions to kind of continue to guide them in walking in that relationship and building that relationship with the Lord. So really that's how it came about. And as you said in my bio, I am now working on a second book called Bold Voice, and really my heart desire is to serve women in a way that's going to help bring them out of the shadows, bring them out to be their best selves so that they're not just existing, but that they're really excited about their lives and they're living their lives on purpose, very purposefully, just like you're doing. And so I want people to wake up and not be frustrated and not, dread having to go through their day. I want them to wake up and be excited. And so that's where the Bold Voice program and now the Bold Voice book, where that is coming from. So it all comes from just this place of really wanting to serve and wanting to help people to build themselves up so that they become the best version of themselves. We only have a limited amount of time on this earth, right? And
Yeah.
so let's do everything that we're here to do, and let's enjoy the journey. There's enough trouble. So if we can really enjoy the journey, that's really my heart's desire.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. And so your devotional, you pretty much based it off of some quiet time with God that you had
Mm-hmm.
and brought it on around to, hey, this can help someone, this can help someone else
Mm-hmm.
be able to achieve that relationship, that one-on-one relationship. How important is that?
It's critical from my perspective. If I don't start my day with that time, it shows.
Yeah.
It's more difficult because it really does help me to focus and really set my mind on what it is that I'm supposed to be doing in that day. We get those new mercies every morning, and so I have that 24 hours to fulfill whatever I'm called to do for that time. And really that time of centering, that time of silence, that time of prayer, it helps me to really focus and be able to move through the day more purposefully. And really, that's what I'm wanting us all to be able to do, is to be purposeful about our actions, because I believe when we do that, we meet the people we're supposed to meet, we help the people we're supposed to help, and we enter into the places where we're supposed to be, because we have that listening ear. We're hearing, where the Lord is leading us.
Awesome. And
Mhm.
so I gave a few facts about you in your bio. Give us
Mhm.
some more information about you.
Sure. Well, I have been in higher education for 19 years. I've taught at smaller Christian universities. But that in and of itself that was a God thing. That was not anything I ever saw myself doing. I'm trained as a social worker. I was working in the area of social work and addictions, and I was a single mom. I had a son, and so I really needed extra income, and so I went into this position. It was an adjunct position, just to teach one class. And at the end of that year, I was offered to apply for this full-time position, and honestly, Nadia, I said no. I was like, that's not what I want to do. That's not even something that's on my radar. And it, with the counsel of good people in my life, my pastor being one of them at the time, um, I was encouraged to move forward. And I'm telling you, it was a God thing, because when I stepped into that arena of teaching, God really helped to encourage and build that gift in me. And, we all have gifts that He has given us without repentance. And so those giftings are really used in our everyday lives. And so I really recognize that it was an opportunity to really seed into the lives of young men and women that were coming through the social work program, and be able to use the gift that God has had given me to do that, so that they could then go out and serve others. It really is a ripple effect. When we do what we need to do, then others are able to do what they need to do. And so I ended up in that arena. I've been teaching now for 19 years, as I said. And so that's what I have been doing. I'm a mom. I have a son. I have three stepdaughters, but they're my daughters. I don't really like that stepdaughter thing. They're my daughters. And my husband and I have been married for 12 years now, and we have seven grandkids between us. So
Oh,
we have a very full life.
amazing, amazing. And
Mhm.
where did you say you were from again?
I live in Lexington, Kentucky.
All right, coming
Mhm.
to us from Kentucky,
From
y'all.
Kentucky.
Amazing, amazing. Well, a little bit more about your writing.
Mhm.
What actually, I know, you had your quiet time in that, but you're moving to a second book, so there has to be something else burning in you to
Mhm.
have you writing and wanting to make an impact with your
Mhm.
writing. So
Mhm.
tell me, what drives you to your writing, or what motivates you in your writing?
Really, it's having gone down the same road that I'm trying to help people come out of. So having had those times where I was frustrated, or really overwhelmed or didn't know, didn't have a direction, didn't know which way to go, and needed that encouragement, needed some guidance. And so I'm hoping that my writing can be that for people, that it's something to help guide them along their path, because certainly we all have different paths, but there are some, I think people need to recognize that there are people that feel like they feel, have been where they've been, can empathize with where they're trying to get to. And I think that's the biggest motivation, especially for this next book that I'm writing, is that I can empathize. You know, as I said, I was a single mom. I was single. I was divorced and then single for 13 years before I remarried. And so I know those times of feeling alone, feeling isolated, feeling like there's nobody to help you. I know those times where money is tight and you feel overwhelmed and you're like, what am I going to do? And you really want something more, but you're too afraid to move because you know you need this job. And so, you know, just all of those things that stirred in me, I want to be able to let somebody know, hey, I know, understand what you're going through. And here's a plan. Here's some tools that can help you to be your best self. And really, it's a process. And I really want people to recognize that we have to make a decision to go through the process. But if you would make that decision to go through the process, here's something to help you. Here's somebody that, you know, has a story that can relate to and can empathize with where you are. And so that's really what my heart's desire is in writing the next book. The first one, My Ramblings in the Silence, it has that name because it was really my ramblings. It was just, it was just what was coming off of my heart, you know, when I spent that time. But I know that it has been used. Some, you know, some groups have used it as a Bible study. I think that's amazing.
Yes.
And I think that if it can help people again to do that inner work, because that's what it's all about, if we're going to be our best selves. And so both, and, you know, doing the inner work, but also really recognizing that there's somebody that may understand a little bit about what you're going through because they've been there.
Yeah, and a lot of times I think, particularly us women, we seem to think that we're the only ones that have been going through these things
Right,
or have went through some of the things that we go through. And
right.
like you say, we kind of shy away and, you know,
Hmm.
just do what we have to do until we can do what we want to do most of the time. But just
Absolutely.
having that support and knowing that you're not the only one that has to go through this. You know, sometimes our decisions may not add up the way we need them to, but that
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's the end of the world. You can
That's right.
still make it. Well,
That's
I thank you so much, Dr.
right.
Michelle,
Hmm.
for those words,
You're
for
welcome.
your information about your book. I want you to give us your final thoughts and then tell us how we can get this book,
Okay.
Ramblings in the Silence.
Absolutely. Well, just my final thoughts are really what I've already shared, is that we're in this together. No man is an island. And so we have tools, writing books that are such great tools to help us through our process. And so the first thing we have to do is we have to make a decision to go through that process. But if you do that, there are tools like My Ramblings in the Silence, like my next book coming out, like all of the authors that you're going to be speaking to. There are tools that can help us. And so I just hope that people will dig in and take hold of this that is available to them. So my Ramblings in the Silence is available on Amazon. You just, you know, put in My Ramblings in the Silence and it will come up. It is available there. You can reach me at my email, which is Michele with one L, Michele at Dr. Michele Life Coach, all one phrase, Dr. Michele Life Coach, DR, not doctor written out. So drmichelelifecoach.com. So that's my email. And then certainly I am on Facebook at Michele Renee Wells. I'm on Instagram at Michele Renee Wells. So you can find me any of those places. And I do have a website as well, and that's drmichelelifecoach.com. So, however you need to get in touch with me, I am here and I am available to help.
Wonderful. I am typing your website in the comments.
Okay.
drmichelelifecoach.com, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Right. So,
Yes.
Dr. Michele, thank you once again for joining us for our Juneteenth book tour. If that is all, we are so happy to have you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.